Today I'm going to introduce you to the Pecron E3000LFP. Now first, I've got to tell you, I've had their 1500 LFP. I've loaned it off to a friend of mine, and they took it to the Rubicon, which is, the iconic off-road trail in America. They went camping, they went off-roading all over the place, and I abused it quite a bit over about a year, close to a year anyway. And it's just continued to keep on working. And you may have seen some of my videos where I actually added extra batteries to that Pecron after adapting the cable so that I could just plug it into some server rack batteries or a golf cart battery, and it worked really, really well. So I was talking to Pecron and they asked me if I wanted to test one of their 3000s, and I thought, well, heck yeah, why not? First of all, my buddy's got the other one I had, and who doesn't want to try out a bigger power station that has an expansion battery port? So when I got this power station, I set it up on the bench here, started charging it up, and immediately began tearing apart a connector that I had for the Pecron E1500 LFP. Because I thought, well, it won't fit this power station, but maybe the pins would and I could adapt them. Well, unfortunately, they don't fit. But if you just look in the book, you'll see something interesting, and that is that the Pecron expansion battery cable is an XT120. And you can buy XT120 adapters or XT120 male and female plugs on Amazon so that I can adapt those and see about plugging in another battery into this, because it will take two of the Pecron batteries, but I bet you I could add quite a bit more to it by using my own batteries. And so, sorry Pecron, but it's what I do. So if you send a power station to me, you got to know I'm going to do that. But again, they have their own batteries, and their own expansion batteries do in fact communicate with the power station itself. And so that means that it can actually see those batteries and adjust where it draws the power from, as well as how long it can run and charge those up and all that good stuff. So there are some advantages to the company's own batteries that are a little different if you try to add your own battery to it. Something to bear in mind if you're looking to do that kind of stuff. But let's talk about the F3000LFP that I've got here. First of all, I didn't really check a whole lot out on it. I charged it up. I saw that it can charge up at 1800 watts, max 15 amps, and it was about 65% when I started. So I saw it bump up around 1500 watts and then dial it back. That's pretty normal. So it got fully charged, and then, like I always do, I just took my ceramic heater, I plugged it in, turned everything on, and I let it run at about 1100 watts to see how long it would run. And it ran for, I think it was 2 hours and 34 minutes. And the total power used was about 90% of the unit. It was just over 2700 watt hours. I'll pop it up on the screen here. So that's about 90%. Actually, a tick over 90%. That's really good, folks. It has a 3072 watt hour battery and a 3600 watt inverter, though they do say it's 3600 watts at 120 volts. If it's at, say, 100 volts, then it's less. Well, we run 120 volts here, so it's a 3600 watt inverter as far as I'm concerned. Now, I've got it charging up right now. It's really actually pretty quiet, though. It's not something that's going to bother you when there's a heavy load on it, or frankly when it's charging up, so I don't mind that. It's got 5 120 volt plugs, again, a 3600 watt inverter. It also has a 30 amp plug on it as well. I really like that, especially for these power stations that are expandable. That's very nice. And it has a 100 watt USB-C port, as well as an 18 watt USB-C and two 18 watt USB-A ports. It has the two DC 5525 barrel type connectors on the front as well. Those are 5 amps, and it also has a cigarette lighter port, which is a 10 amp port. It does not have an XT60 or any 25 amp DC outlets. Those are kind of nice to have, and I also noticed it doesn't have a light on it. I like it when they put lights on these power stations. I'm with some of the other guys that review power stations. Having a light on them is really, really nice. So that's something that I think they could put on there. Now, it does have an app. I'm downloading the app right now so I can play with it. I believe you can dial in the charging voltage and that kind of stuff with the app. Now, the other thing that it has is a 1600 watt XT60 solar input. That's a 25 amp port, 1600 watts. That's awesome, folks. That means that you could charge this unit up in about 2 hours if you had that full 1600 watts of solar. Now, I happen to have 400 watt solar panels, and that means that I could connect 4 of those up to get me that 1600 watts. Now, the voltage is 25 to 120, so you're not going to plug in a 12.8 volt battery to this and try to extend its runtime through the XT60 port. You're going to have a minimum of a 25.6 volt LiFePO4 battery, though the 51.2 volt batteries would work very well there. And the fact that it can get 25 amps at a total of 1600 watts, folks, you almost don't even need an expansion battery port and hack it up and all that kind of stuff. You just plug a battery in the XT60 and get a bunch more power out of it that way. I could plug a golf cart battery in right now that I've got. That's a 5120 watt hour battery. Plug it in the side of this thing and give myself 8,000 watt hours in a heartbeat. Now, of course, I'd have to charge that battery up, and their expansion batteries charge up with the unit. Whereas if you try to run one through the solar port, you either have to put a charge controller on the battery with solar going to the battery to charge it up, or you're going to have to put a charger on that battery to charge it up. So having the expansion batteries, well, it is a little nicer. I'm never going to say that those aren't nice, folks. But there are lots of options with this unit, and I think that's really nice. Now, for a 3,000 watt hour battery with a 3,600 watt inverter, it weighs just over 63 pounds. So honestly, that's pretty light for a 3,000 watt hour power station. Now, they do say that it's 3,500 cycles to 80%. I personally like to see that at 4,000 plus. 3,500 is still very good. You're looking at easily 10 years or more of battery runtime. And you're not going to run your batteries down to zero every single day. And again, I'm sorry about my voice. I seem to be losing it. Hey, but you know what? I'm still putting videos out for you. So there you go. Give me a like for that. You know what? I really appreciate it. And you could even hype this video if you wanted. It would be nice. But folks, I'm telling you, this is a pretty decent unit. And again, Pecron has treated me really well. Not the company. Well, I mean, sure, they sent me the power station to review. So thank you, Pecron, for that. However, I have full autonomy to say whatever I want in my videos. I'm not under contract. They're not paying me or anything else. I'm doing this video because I wanted to. Because I've beaten the heck out of that Pecron E1500 LFP. So, good quality units. I really think you should take a look at one of these if you're thinking about buying a power station. They got a good price right now. So check it out. I'll drop a link down below. Now, folks, before I go, I want to show you one more thing that Pecron sent to me, which is really cool. It is the Pecron Universal Cable Kit U20. And, folks, this thing has tons of cables in it. Look at this. If you are into power stations and getting them to do all kinds of things or connecting to all kinds of things, check out this cable setup because you've got Anderson to XT60s. You've got XT60 to ring terminals. Oh, I know what I could use those for. You've got what looks like XT60 to your DC style. It looks like an 8mm. A couple different styles there. You've got another one of those. Actually, you've got 2 or 3 of those. You've got XT60 to MC4s. You've also got a little... looks like a battery monitor that you can plug in 2 XT60s on either end, as well as 3 female-to-female XT60 adapters. Kind of cool. You've got some jumper cable adapters. Let's see, you've got an XT60 to XT60, so a longer cable. But you know what? There's even more than that. We've got the XT60 to the charger port for their solar, which is really nice because if you've got a lot of different solar panels like I do, and they come with different adapters, but not the kind that connect to the Pecron, you just plug it into this on the XT60 side. So that's kind of nice. There's an XT60 to XT90 adapter. There's just all kinds of stuff in here, folks. You've got the cigarette lighter types, the two different XT60 to XT90 adapters. There's like 18 cables or 20 cables in this thing. Check it out. I think those are about 130 bucks on Amazon. I'm not sure what they are on the Pecron site. I'll put it out there for you, but super nice little case, and I appreciate that Pecron sent it to me because frankly I'm going to make a lot of use out of it. But it's really cool to have all those different adapter cables. So there you have it. Cool power station, awesome little kit here. Pretty happy with both of those. I'll throw another video right out here just for you to check out. Thank you very much for watching. And thanks to all my members. I really appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. You all have a great day. The old Jarhead out.